Hi, I'm Marvel Calixto, the reporting of Introduction of the Self as Cognitive Construct, Lesson 3. And lesson objectives. After end this lesson, you should be able to identify the different ideas in psychology about the self. Create your own definition on the self based on a definition from psychology and analyze the effect of various factors identified in psychology and the formation of the self. Introduction. As discussed in the previous lesson, every field of study, at least in the social science, have their own research, definition, and conceptualization of self and identity. Some are similar, while some specific only in their field. Each field also has thousands of research on self and identity as well as relate or synonymous terms. The trend of the lesson also seems to define the concept of the self from larger contexts, culture and society down to the individual. And however, it must be pointed out that modern researchers acknowledge the contribution of each field, and this is not some sort of a nurture versus nature, society culture versus individual brain, and other social science versus psychology debate. Psychology may focus on the individual and the cognitive function, but it does not discount the context and other possible factors that affect the individual. To study who take up psychology, discuss and theories and development among other actually take at least one semester, and there are still more to be learned about the concept of self. This lesson provides an overview of the themes of psychology regarding the said concept. And the self as cognitive construct is having a complex self means that we have all of different ways of thinking and thinking about self.
Hello everyone, this is my report. Abstraction. In confidence or in an attempt to avoid further analytical discussions, a lot of people say, I am who I am, yet this statement still begs the question, if you are who you are, then who are you that makes you who you are? As mentioned earlier, there are various definitions of the self, and other similar or interchangeable concepts in psychology. Simply put, self is the sense of personal identity and of who we are as individuals. William James 1890 was one of the earliest psychologists to study the self and conceptualize the self as having two aspects, the I and the me. The I is thinking, acting, and feeling self. The me, on the other hand, is physical characteristics as well as psychological capabilities that makes who you are. According to Carl Rogers' 1915 theory of the personality also used the same terms, the I, as the one who acts and decide, while the me is what you think or feel about yourself as an object. Other concepts similar to self are identify and self-concept. Identify is composed of personal characteristics, social roles, and responsibilities as well as a affiliation that define who one is. Self-concept is what basically comes to your mind when you are asked about who you are. Self-identify and self-concept are not fixed in one time frame. For example, when you are asked about who you are, you can say I was varsity fifth grade, which pertain to past, a college student, which may be the present, and a future politician, which is the future. They are not also fixed for life, nor are they ever changing at every moment. Think of a malleable metal, strong and hard but can't be bent and molded in other shapes. Think about water, it can take any shape of the container, but at its core it is still the same element. Thank you.
The schema is not limited to the example on the diagram. It may also include your interest, your work, your course, your age, your name, your physical characteristic, etc. As you grow and adapt to the change around you, they also change, but they are not passive, receive, they actively shape and reflect how you see, think, and feel about things. For example, when someone states your first name, even if he's not talking about you, your intention is known to him. If you have a provincial language and you hear someone using it, it catches your attention. If he is consider yourself a book lover, a bookstore may always entice you out of all the stores in a mall. Sigmund Freud, ID, the intellectual part of the mind that contains sexual and aggressive drive and hidden memories. Ego, the realistic part that mediate between the desire of the idea and the superego. Superego operate as a moral conscience.
Under the theory of symbolic interactionism, J.H. Smith, 1934, argued that the self is created and developed through human interaction. Sinasabi dito na ang sarili ay nilikha at binuo sa pamamagitan ng pakikipag-ugnayan ng tao. Number 1. We do not create ourselves. Out of nothing society help in creating the foundation of who we are, and even if we make our choices, we will still operate in our social and historical context in one way or other. Hindi nilikha ang sarili sa labas ng walang natutulong sa lipunan. Sa paglikha ng pundasyon kung sino tayo, at kahit gumawa tayo ng ating mga pagpipilian, gagana pa rin tayo sa ating mga panlipunan at makasaysayang konteksto sa isang paraan o sa iba pa. Number 2. Whether we like to admit it or not, we actually need other to affirm and reinforce who we think we are. Panahon na nais nating aminin o hindi, talagang kailangan natin ang iba upang kumpirmahin at palakasin kung sino sa tingin natin. We also need them as reference points about our identity. Kailangan din sila bilang mga sanggunian tungkol sa pakikipagkilanlan. Number 3. What we think is important to us may also have being influenced by what is important in our social or historical context. Ang iniisip nating mahalaga sa atin ay maaaring maimpluwensyahan din ng kung ano ang mahalaga sa atin, mga sosyal o makasaysayang konteksto. Education might be an important thing to your self-concept because you grow up in a family that valued education. Ang edukasyon ay maaaring isang mahalagang bagay sa iyong konsepto sa sarili dahil lumaki ka sa isang pamilya na pinapahalagan ng edukasyon.
Okay, this is my report. Social comparison only entails what is called self-evaluation maintenance theory, which states that we can feel treated with someone outperform us, especially when that person is close to us, friend or family. 1988 in Shanghai and entire 2014. In this case, we usually react to 3 ways. First, we distance ourselves from the person of who refined our relationship with them. Shanghai and entire 2014 14, some will resort to the silent treatment. Change some association may give him a certain kind of acknowledge. Ang pagbabahagi sa lipunan ay nagsasaad ng tinatawag na pagpapanatili sa sariling ilusyon. Teorya nagsasaad ng marami tayong nararamdaman pagbabanta kapag may nagaganap sa atin, lalo na kapag ang taong iyon ay malapit sa pamilya. Second, we may also consider the importance of aspect of or skill in which you will perform. Diyan na entitled 14, if you got beaten in a drawing is not ready. Class. Third, we may also strengthen our resolve to improve that certain aspect of ourselves. Diyan na entitled 14, instead of quitting drawing, you may join seminars, practice and more often read books about it and add some elements and your drawing that makes it unique among others. That's all. Thank you.
Understanding Chapter 1 Lesson 3. However, in the attempt has increased or maintain self-esteem, some people become narcissistic. Narcissistic is a trait characterized by high as self-esteem, self-admiration, and self-centeredness. Ang kahulugan ng binasa ko ngayon ay narcissistic ay isang ugali na nailalarawan ng sobrang taas ng paghanga sa sarili, ng paghanga at pag-iisip ng sarili. In case you want to take a test and find a numerical value of level of your self-esteem, try to be honest and objective about what you feel and see about yourself. Kung nais mong sumubok ng isang pagsubok, kailangan mo itong mapagtagumpayan at kailangan meron kang kumpiyansa sa iyong sarili at subukan na maging matapat ang mga layunin tungkol sa kung ano ang nararamdaman at nakikita mo tungkol sa iyong sarili. People with high self-esteem are commonly described as outgoing, adventurous, and adaptable in a lot of situations. Ang mga taong may mataas na kumpiyansa sa sarili